being average is easy. Being a leader isn't always the cool thing to do. And so, I just encourage young athletes to take that chance, take that step out, and want to be great, and that says something about a kid that has the mentality that they want to be great and they want to be a leader. And, in doing that, just know it's not always an easy path, but, the path less traveled also is the most rewarding. So all the young athletes out there that, might struggle with stepping out on the branch, man, do it. And I promise you're not going to regret it.
Time out. Let me ask you this. What if the gap between where you are today and where you want to be isn't talent? It's how you're training when no one's watching. That's what this studio podcast is all about. We don't chase motivation. We don't hype potential. We build identity through habits, standards, and systems. This is where student athletes, parents, coaches, and leaders come to sharpen how they think, prepare, and perform. I'm Coach Randy, and this is the Built Different Studio Podcast. Isn't it interesting how most people say they want to be great, but they live like average is acceptable? Family, what's up? Coach Randy here. Welcome to the Built Different Studio Podcast, where we don't just talk about success, we train it. Mindset, systems, habits. Because when pressure shows up, and it always does, motivation won't save you. Your routine will. Today, we've got a coach in the studio who lives that truth every day. Coach Riley Thompson is a head high school baseball coach in his fourth year at a former college baseball player and a builder, someone who's coaching at the same school he graduated from, on a mission to restore the program back to where it once was. What I respect about Riley is the simplicity and the standard. He doesn't sell hype. He really teaches ownership. Control the controllables, build great habits. He lives by the E.A.T mindset, effort, attitude, teammate, because no one can take those away from you. So today we're talking greatness. We're talking daily discipline. We're talking what it really means to lead young people when average is default everywhere. Family, help me welcome Riley Thompson. Riley, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
And Coach Randy, thanks for having me on today.
Yeah, we're excited to have you on board. Before we dive in, I want to start with you. Not your title, not the record, not the highlight reel. For everyone listening, tell us who you are, your story, your roots, the moments that shaped you, and the values that you lead with today. Because every champion has a beginning, and I want to hear yours.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm a small town kid from Enid, Oklahoma. It was just in northwest Oklahoma. After graduating high school from Chisholm High School, went on to play 4 years of college baseball at Randall University. Just a small Christian school in Moore, Oklahoma. Had a good career there. Met some of my best friends, and it's a Christian school, so got to get closer to God and develop that relationship, which has helped me a ton, being a holistic leader at the high school level. And then, after graduating college, kind of fell into a head coaching gig here at, like you said, my former high school, and then just took the ball and ran with it.
Man, that's amazing. That's amazing. So many things I want to touch on there. First thing, I want to talk about Christ. I'm a firm believer in Christ as well. It'll take another episode just to share my testimony there, but long story longer on Christ. I'm a firm believer. I believe in Christ. One of the themes that my church started for 2026 is flourish. Flourish. Don't just survive, but flourish in 2026. What that means is flourish in terms of believing in God, your relationship with Christ, all the Bible studies you do. Don't just survive with Christ, but flourish. So I want to ask you, Coach Riley, can you talk a little bit about the impact Jesus has made in your life and in Christianity?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me is he's a rock. It's especially being an athlete and being a coach, we go through hardships, rough times, slumps, judgments from other people. But, when you have something that's steady,
Yeah.
like Jesus and having your faith, it's like, it's always something that you can kind of fall back on when things are getting hard, or, you get into a dark place. It's like, he's the light, and just having, that consistent, rock that I can fall back on is something that's huge for me.
Wow. I love that. I love that. I want to start creating t-shirts. Jesus is the rock. Well, let's create a t-shirt and
Yeah,
all good.
good.
Another thing I want to highlight, Coach Riley, is the baseball. Tell me a little bit about your experience as a high school athlete. We have a lot of high school athletes, and kind of what's needed to get to the next level. I think it's less than 5-6% that actually go on to play in any sport. I just want to understand like the commitment, discipline, things that you want to share with our listeners in terms of getting to that next level.
Yeah, it definitely it takes sacrifice at the end of the day.
Okay.
Working on your craft when you'd probably rather be doing other things. Because every athlete, for the most part, thinks of himself as a hard worker. But
Yeah.
just like you said, it's that 5 to 10% that get and make it into the next level. So it's like you're going up against, to get into recruiting, you're going up against hard workers. So like, what are you doing to put yourself a step ahead above those people that consider themselves a hard worker? And a lot of times that's sacrificing some personal time to put in that extra work and create those good habits.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you say that average is easy. Greatness takes all you have every day. Where did that standard come from, and when did it become non-negotiable for you?
The standard really came from, just being a college athlete. It's like, and being a competitor, it's like, even in coaching, like I consider myself a huge competitor, and it's like, I don't want it to be
strategies and everything else.
Yeah, exactly. And, I've never won, I've won championships and tournaments here and there, but it's like, I've never won a state championship. I've never won a national championship. At each level, as a player, I went to the state tournament in baseball. As a player in college, I went to the World Series for our division. So I've tasted it, but I've never been on top of the mountain. So that's kind of where that comes from, where it's like, man, I have a thirst for greatness on the field of play. And it's like, I want to be able to say I was the best at one time. So to do that, you can't be average. You have to go the hard route.
Yeah, man, that's powerful. Not be average. And I can hear how personal that standard is for you. So let's talk about how you turn that belief into something athletes can actually live daily. You're rebuilding a program or building a program at your alma mater. What's the first culture move you make when you're trying to shift the team from average thinking to great habits? I had a coach the other day. He's a volleyball coach at CSUN, and he told me, I have high standards, but I want to understand, what's that first culture move that you implemented?
So, the very first thing that I did when I stepped on campus is, I narrowed it down as like, no matter the situation that we're in, we can control 3 things. And that's kind of how you touched on earlier. It's our effort, our attitude, and, being a great teammate. So how we treat people. And it started out as, I started with just attitude. I got it, the attitude part. My grandma would always tell me, attitude is everything. Pick a good one.
Oh, wow. Okay. So another phrase I'm going to capture. Click, click. Let's put that. Let's put that on a t-shirt. Attitude is everything. Pick a good one.
Yeah. So I grew up as a kid. I always hearing that. My grandma reiterated that to us constantly, and so I kind of added on the effort. And my teammate deal is, I had my high school coach always told us, working hard and being talented, that's easy for somebody to do, to work hard, but how you treat others and being a great teammate, that's hard, being able to control your emotions. So, being able to control those 3 things that you can control, and then nobody can take those away from you. So, if we can control those three things, then, we think that we have a high success rate of being able to get the job done. And even if win or lose, if you can control those three things, you win with grace and you lose with a mindset of, hey, I'm going to get better.
Yeah, and I love those three: effort, attitude, and teammate. And I love how you frame that in terms of the culture you're trying to define. Now let's go a little deeper, because habits are one thing, and trying to stick to those three phrases, but pressure exposes what's real, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when pressure hits, slumps, I mean, I'm sure you had some hitting slumps, adversity, distractions. What's one daily routine you teach that keeps players consistent? And if you did that routine every day for 30 days, what would change about their confidence?
Yeah, so it's like one thing that we do daily, and it's almost kind of like a pre-practice deal. It's like we just center ourselves, right? We meet together as a team. We talk
Okay.
about the day, and we talk about, hey, we're gonna do one thing great today. We call it a surround and takedown. So we want to surround.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to surround it, and then we want to take it down. We kind of like a pack of wolves, right? When they go hunt a buffalo, they surround the buffalo and then they take it down. So one habit that we try to form, and it's like it helps us in the midst of pressure, because if in the midst of pressure, if we're just focusing on one thing that we want to do great, then all the outside noise kind of goes away. It's like I'm solely focused on this one thing. So that's something that we do daily pre-practice. Is we get on the same page and we say, hey, no matter what today at practice, if we have the worst practice of the whole year, this one thing, we're going to make sure that it goes right for us today.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, that routine kind of, everything you do pre-practice really sets the stage for the practice. And exactly what you talk about in terms of building confidence. Confidence is earned, it's not hoped for. And that connects perfectly to your E.A.T philosophy, because controllables are a mindset and it's a behavior. If you think I can control it, you will. If you don't think you can control it, you won't. So no, that's cool. Another question I have in terms of, I want to touch a little bit about the E.A.T mentality: effort, attitude, and teammate. How do you coach that in terms of, making it stick, especially for teenagers? There's a bunch of coaches out there. They have their philosophies, their mantras, their themes. Some coaches print it out on boards, and you could tell the fake ones from the real ones, right? And this is game changing: effort, attitude, and teammate. How do you coach that where the players are believing in that and they treat that as their mantra?
Yeah, well, I mean, the first thing in coaching is holding guys accountable to it.
Yeah.
Us as a coaching staff, it's like if we see it, we address it. And I think that's the first thing, where it's like if I'm addressing it and our coaches are addressing it, that holds kids in check. And then,
Accountability is huge. Sure.
on the flip side of that, it's like our leaders, our players that are, we deem leaders, that have leadership roles on our teams, like they have to hold the guys accountable for that too. And so the accountability aspect is there, as far as a coaching staff's holding each other accountable for it, and we exemplify it as a coaching staff. Our leaders on our team, our player leaders, are holding their teammates accountable to it. And then, the trickle-down effect of it is we have young guys that, you aren't necessarily captains on the team or have a big leadership role yet, but they're holding their other players and player to player to a standard and to a higher standard. So when you have a group of 25 kids each holding each other accountable to the standard that we set, then it clicks.
Wow. Now that's real coaching there, because what you're building is identity and not just performance. What you said is 25 players all in, right? So here's the next layer. What happens when the athlete buys in, but the environment is chaotic? For the student athlete trying to be great in sport and school, what's your best advice for controlling the controllables off the field? Time, focus, priorities, so they don't get swallowed up by stress. Right? How do you help manage that?
Yeah, so we tell our kids, or I tell the kids, it's like the E.A.T mindset, it can't be a light switch.
Okay.
It can't be something we turn on and we turn off. So it's like when we're not at baseball and we're at school or, at home, it's like we still have to control those things. Because if our habits aren't just good habits in baseball or in athletics. We want to have good habits in all aspects of our lives. And so, I expect your best effort in the classroom. I expect you to have a good attitude towards your teacher. I expect you to... Sorry, I got some announcements going on in here.
All good. I know you're on campus, so all good. That's part of the business, man. Part of being a coach, being a leader, part of being an educator. So, no, all good.
Okay, I'm through. So yeah, just kids, controlling that in all aspects of their life, which controlling that in the classroom and at home, it actually makes it easier for you to control it in baseball because it's already habit.
Yeah, no, that's powerful. Definitely. Coach Riley, this show has been amazing. I want to just open it up to you now in terms of, is there anything you want to share with our listeners? Anything that you want to share about your program? We want to put you on blast. Anything you want to share that you want to open up to? Anything that we didn't cover?
Man, just, kind of what we talked about, like average is easy. Being great really takes something from you. And, I think in society today, it's like being average is common. Being average is easy. Being a leader isn't always the cool thing to do. And so, I just encourage young athletes to take that chance, take that step out and want to be great, and that says something about a kid that has the mentality that they want to be great and they want to be a leader. And, in doing that, just know it's not always an easy path. But the path less traveled also is the most rewarding. So all the young athletes out there that, might struggle with stepping out on the branch, man, do it. And I promise you're not going to regret it.
Man, that's amazing. Coach Riley, I appreciate you, your standard, your clarity, and how you lead. This is exactly what Built Different looks like. Family, that was a real one because Coach Riley didn't give you motivation. He gave you a blueprint. He talked about average is easy. Greatness costs you something. I like how we opened up the episode in Jesus is the rock, right? Working on your craft, making sacrifices, the E.A.T philosophy, effort, attitude, and teammate. Attitude is everything. Pick a good one. I'm telling you, I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. We're going to sell that online and make money off that, Coach Riley. Surround and take down. Another visualization, of how to be successful. And how to start practices. Accountability. Leaders holding others accountable. I can't think of so many teams where if you have the coaches holding the players accountable and the players holding each other accountable, right? It's amazing what you can accomplish. Great habits or good habits in all aspects of our life. And being a good person outside of the field or off the field. Amazing. And what he reinforced today is this: you don't need more hype. You need a repeatable way to show up, especially when no one's watching. If you're an athlete listening, control the controllables today. Win effort, win attitude, win teammate. If you're a parent, understand this: structure at home creates confidence in competition. And if you're a coach, keep building standards that your athletes can live by, not just quote. Coach Riley, thank you for the work you're doing for the next generation. Family, if this episode hits you, share it with a teammate, coach, or a parent who needs to hear it. I'm Coach Randy in the Built Different Studio Podcast, where we don't just talk about success, we train it. Handle today with intention. That's how champions are built. Win the day, fight on. Family, here's the truth most people avoid. In order to accomplish consistency under pressure, you need exactly a clear system, daily habits, and a standard you refuse to negotiate. That's the separator. If you're tired of guessing, tired of inconsistency, tired of watching potential stay trapped, you don't need another speech. You need a plan that student athletes can execute all day, at home, at school, and in training. That's what we build. If you want to support your student athlete in academics, time management, mindset, habits, leadership, and long-term college planning, visit athleticconnect.com. If you want to be a guest on this show, apply on the website, because we're bringing on leaders who live standards, not slogans. This podcast is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Subscribe, share, and send this episode to someone who needs to hear it. Handle today with intention. That's how champions are built. Win the day and fight on. Coach Riley, thank you again for your time. I appreciate you. Thanks for everything you're doing, and God bless.
Thanks for having me on, man. We'll see you.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Remember this, family. Talent might open the door, but your mindset, your habits, and your discipline decide how far you go. So keep showing up, keep building, and keep choosing the harder road, because that's the one that makes you built different. I'm Coach Randy, and this is the Built Different Studio Podcast.